Hey everybody, welcome to Final Bit Gaming. My name is Jarrett, and today I'm just going to talk about my thoughts and opinions on the first Splatoon 2 Splatfest. So for anyone who's new to Splatfest, Splatfest are these events in which everyone in the game chooses a side, whether it be, ice cream and cake, or cats and dogs, and then, for 24 hours, the entire game is about duking it out and determining which of those two opinions is the right opinion, via Splatoon 2's very addictive gameplay. Overall, Splatfests are really fun. This was actually my first time participating in one. I did have the first Splatoon, but I never really got into the Splatfest portion of it. It came well after the game was already out, and by that point I had moved on. But I do wish I had gone back and played some of those Splatfests, as it's really fun. It's a really fun way to just kind of mix up the general gameplay. So I guess I first just kind of want to touch on the general theme of this Splatfest, which was ketchup versus mayonnaise. That struck me as a little bit weird right off the bat. First of all, I expected it to be ketchup versus mustard, if anything, if we're going to go the condiment route. However, it was ketchup versus mayo, which was very interesting. I do believe the reason behind that is that mayo is a lot sweeter in Japan, so I guess there's a bigger comparison between mayo and ketchup. But out here in North America, and likely in Europe and anywhere else, mayo is kind of totally different. You don't generally have mayo on the same things you'd have ketchup on, except for like a burger. But even then, they're kind of two separate categories, so it was a bit interesting comparing those. I do think the team who picked the Splatfest maybe should have been a little more culturally aware that, in other places of the world, mayo isn't as big a thing. Because for a lot of the Splatfest, it seems like ketchup is facing off against ketchup. Now, full disclosure, I chose Team Ketchup. I am a huge ketchup fan. I dip bacon in ketchup. That is how serious my dedication to the craft of ketchup is. So ketchup for me was a no-brainer, and even if it had been ketchup and mustard, I would have still chosen ketchup. Ketchup is really the ultimate condiment. Now, when you actually get to face off against mayo, and just to clarify a little bit, there are very specific colors in this Splatfest. So during the Splatfest, all ketchup players play as this ketchup red or orangey color, and mayo plays as mayo color. And it's cool because you actually get to duke it out as if you're actually spraying those condiments, and I thought that was really cool. However, the problem with that is there are a lot more ketchup players in the game than there are mayo. So I'd say about 2/3 of my battles have really been ketchup against ketchup, in which case the colors you're using are no longer red and off-white, but instead blue and purple and pink and purple, and it's interesting. I do think, though, that the idea of unique colors in a Splatfest is really cool. I think it makes the whole event kind of stand out and gives it this unique feel to it. You don't get to see these colors in regular gameplay, so it feels like something really special, which I think is really cool. Even when you're just playing as ketchup versus ketchup, the colors that they're giving you are different colors than you see in the general game, although that could also be because they've changed stages to be a bit darker than they normally would be in reality. I really appreciate all the detail they actually put into the Splatfest. Right when you load up the game, you get to see this cutscene about the Splatfest, and then the lobby looks totally different than it normally does. Generally in the game, it's sunny, you get to run around, there's a few people here and there, but they have totally redone it. There's unique music. There is Pearl and Marina, the two kind of title characters from this game, singing the entire time on stage, and it's really well animated and it's really cool to just watch. Around the lobby, there's just people jumping around in their mayo and ketchup colors, and there's banners all over the place of people's mayo and ketchup themed graffiti, and it's really cool. The whole thing takes place at night too, and it's like a party. And if you've ever been to any kind of like carnival late at night or anything along those lines, it's very reminiscent of that feel, and I thought it was really, really cool. It definitely makes the event feel unique and special, as opposed to just, something thrown into the game. It feels like there was a lot of effort put into making this kind of a big deal. Probably the best part of the whole experience, though, is the music. It's so catchy. It's a lot of remixes of things you've already heard from Splatoon 2, but it's done in such a way that makes it so much poppier, so much more exciting, and it's honestly stuff that I'm going to be sad to see go at the end of the Splatfest, although it'll be back around next time. But still, super good stuff. Another great feature of this is that you get an additional 5 ranks to work up. So you start as, for example, a Ketchup fanboy or fangirl, or Mayo fanboy and fangirl, and you work your way all the way up to being king or queen of those respective categories. And it's really cool and provides that extra bit of initiative to keep going, just seeing that rank constantly go up. You also get to see your Ketchup power or Mayo power, which essentially is kind of like your win-loss ratio. It's your overall score, and it helps determine the overall score of your team. So if everyone on the team generally wins more than they lose, well, they're going to have a higher score and get paired with higher scoring teams. It's really smart how they did it, and I think it's a really fun, great system. The downside to the Splatfest is that it kind of limits the game modes you can play. It completely gets rid of the ranked battles, so you lose things like Rainmaker and Tower Control, and instead you can really only play Turf War, and then if they allow it, you can also play Salmon Run. That said, it's only a 24-hour event, but it is kind of weird that they decided to completely limit it to Turf War and not, in rank mode, try to allow you to battle it out in those kind of modes for Ketchup and Mayo. It's all strictly one mode. I also noticed some disconnects, which were kind of annoying, so I would be in the middle of a match almost winning, and then it would disconnect. Now, it has improved as the event has gone on. I no longer experience those kind of disconnects, but I do still sometimes get some errors at the end of the battle. I can confirm it's not my internet. My internet is fine. The Switch never disconnects. It's never bad internet quality. It's literally just errors in the game, and I think it's because Nintendo can't really figure out their servers. So, if they're going to expect people to pay for the online, then I think they need to really get that under control and figure out how to make it a seamless experience. Other than that, there were 2 other things brought in for the Splatfest specifically. The first is a new stage, Shifting Station or something along those lines. It's a really cool stage. It's specific to the Splatfest, so it'll only show up during Splatfest, and apparently it's going to change its shape each time. But the gimmick here is that the platforms actually move, so different sections of the level are shifting constantly, which I guess gives it the whole name of Shifting Station. Now, it kind of reminded me of Portal 2 in the beginning when the rooms are moving around. It gave me that sort of feel. So it's a cool stage. It's not my favorite stage, but it's cool that it comes only during the Splatfest and it's not like a main stage. The other thing that is sort of unique to Splatfest, but not really unique, is the new weapon, the Splat Matic, that was released to correspond with this. Guys, I freaking love this weapon. I've only got to play a few matches with it, but it really fits my gameplay style. I'm very much of the spreading ink as fast as possible and, dodging fights except when I absolutely have to fight. And I feel like the Splat Matic really plays well with that kind of style. Now, it is easy to be sniped off, or even regular ranged weapons can still hit you pretty easily, but if you can sneak up beside somebody and shoot them at point blank, they're done. There's nothing they can do. They can't run away, they can't get away, even with the duels. Like, it's a really powerful gun, but it has very short range. It definitely, though, suits the playstyle of anyone who likes the Arrow Spray, or the Splatshot Junior, one of those guns that just covers a wide array of turf without having to go in sort of a straight line. So yeah, those are just some initial impressions of the Splatfest. I think it's a fantastic addition to the game that I wish, for example, like ARMS had picked up, just to add some longevity. It makes the event really feel special, and while I love the overall game for Splatoon, I feel like the mood during the Splatfest takes it up to an 11. I do wish the theme had maybe been a little different, since, Mayo and Ketchup don't really make a whole lot of sense out here in North America. It just feels a bit limiting to constantly be battling other Ketchup players instead of the evil Mayo players. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to like and subscribe. I will be making new videos on Splatoon 2 in the near future, as well as other reviews and types of videos. So thanks again for watching. Let me know what you thought of the Splatfest, what you'd like to see in future Splatfests, anything along those lines. Thanks. Take care.